Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Olga Safira, and now I wanna explain about my proposal. My title of proposal is Learning Center Strategy Towards Student Activity in Teaching Vocabulary at SMP 2 Skongkang. Okay, and the first I wanna explain Chapter 1, and the first is background of study. Teaching English has developed dramatically in the recent years because globalization impact, and everyone should understand English as their international language. The development of English education can also be seen in Indonesia, in which English started to be taught earlier to young learners. Teaching English in this level is to introduce and socialize English language and build English concept. Okay, there are 4 skills that should be mastered by students in learning English. They are speaking, listening, reading, and writing. Besides the 4 English skills, to support the mastery of the 4 language skills, the student should have well understanding of English components such as vocabulary, pronunciation, and grammar. Vocabulary as one of English component is very important to learn. Before the student master the 4 skills, they have to know and some vocabulary to support them in learning English. Richard say that vocabulary is core component of listening, speaking, reading, and writing. Vocabulary is very important to be learned by the student who want to master a language. Okay, and next is teaching English for young learner is very much different from teaching adult in a way that they are often more enthusiastic, active, and easily adaptive. Based on the description of background above, the researcher is interested to conduct the research about teaching vocabulary and title Learning Center Strategy Towards Student Activity in Teaching Vocabulary at SMP 2 Skongkang. Okay, and next is statement of the problem. A learning center is a self-contained section of the classroom in which students in independent and self-directed learning activities get information on learning center and how to incorporate them into your instructional routine using this advice. Okay, and next is purpose of the study. Based on the background of the study, here are some reasons why the researcher indicates about the teaching strategy in vocabulary. First, teaching vocabulary to young learner is not easy. Second, teaching English for young learner is very much different from teaching adult. Third, e-learner can easily get bored if the condition of teaching English process is monotone and not creative. And last, the teacher needs to prepare good strategy and a suitable material in order to gain the target of language teaching to the children. Okay, and scope of the study. Vocabulary is one of the basic elements in mastering language skill. It is almost impossible for students to understand what their teacher explains without having sufficient knowledge of vocabulary. There are a lot of methods or approach that can be used in enriching student vocabulary. And And next is significance of the study. The result of this study are expected to be useful for English teacher to enhance student vocabulary mastery and also further researcher who concerned with the use of language and teaching and learning research. And the last is definition of key term. The first is improving. Webster International Dictionary of the English Language that improving is bringing to a more desirable of excellent condition, to ameliorate, to better, to make land or real estate more profitable by cultivation or contraction, to make more useful. Okay, second is vocabulary. Vocabulary grow to incidental learning such as to continue exposure to comprehensible language in reading, listening, speaking, and writing exercise. Okay, and chapter 2 is review of related theory. Vocabulary is a center of English language acquisition as according to a vocabulary learning is a central to language acquisition, whether the language is first, second, or porridge. Okay, and learning English vocabulary mastery is an important thing in order to master four major skills such as speaking, reading, writing, and listening. Learning vocabulary needs a process. In order to make an effective process, the learner should be in the effective condition of acquiring vocabulary mastery. Okay, and teaching vocabulary to teenagers. Teenagers are easy to get bored with the lesson compared with adult learners. They need colorful pictures and information that are relevant with their world. Teaching English vocabulary to teenagers need an extra work and appropriate teaching method which is adjust to the student need. Okay, and next is chapter 3, research methodology. Research design. The research design on teaching vocabulary learning center strategy through student activity in teaching vocabulary at SMP 2 Kongkang is using pre-experimental design. The present research use pre-experimental design by using one group pre-test and post-test design. Pre-test is before giving the treatment to find out the vocab, while the post-test use the measure and to find out the student vocabulary after treatment. The purpose of the test are the measure student ability and vocabulary before and after giving the treatment. To be clear, and design of the research is in table 2. Okay, if you see my proposal, you can see my table. And population and sample. The population of this study is all the 10th grade of SMP 2 Kongkang in the school year, which is consists of 35 students, 5 students. The present research will take all of the population as the sample of the study because the population less than 100. instrument of the study. Instrument is a tool which will be used for collecting the data. The instrument that will be used in this research is test. The present research use oral test. The test will give to the student, and the result will be the data collection of this research. Okay, and next is technique of data collection. Pre-test. The pre-test will be conducted before the present research teach, by which the purpose to know the student ability and speaking skill. And B, treatment. The treatment will be conducted of the pre-test. The present research treat the student use icebreaker activity. The treatment will be finished into meeting. And C, post-test. The post-test will be given by the present research after the treatment in purpose to know the student improvement on speaking after conduct the treatment. Okay, and the last is data analysis, descriptive statistic. Okay, the technique of analysis the data in this research is descriptive statistic. Okay, and I think that's all from me. Thank you for watching. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.